Welcome to the Windibri Water Treatment Plant. In the next few moments you will get to see where our water comes from, how we process it, the systems we use and what the beneficial use we have at the end. This is Berwindow South Pond number 4 and this is all of our inflows from our Berwindow South field. Its storage capacity is 4,000 million litres. If we were not to put any water in this from here on in and start to dewater it through our reverse osmosis process, it would take just over 2 years to get the water out of here. This is not chemicals, it's just basically saline water that's come out of the coal seams. You know, they've spent millions of dollars on these banks to ensure that they don't leak. We have seepage pits to monitor if anything does leak, which has submersible pumps to pump it back in if it does, and then we have to initiate a repair if we discover it. Very, very strictly monitored. Over here we have our first part of our process, which is our disc filters, which basically takes the solids out of the water. They're a 70 micron disc, which are basically compressed together. When they see the need, they will either over time or the fact that they feel like they're blocked up, they will open themselves up and clean themselves. That also prepares the water for the next treatment, which is the microfiltration, which is over here. The microfiltration is a series of straws. The water is pushed through the outer edge of the straw and then up through the centre, which takes the next level of solids out of the system. Each vessel you see behind me here has a surface area of about 50 square metres. The next part of our process is the ion exchange, or weak acid cation as it's called. A very unique bit of equipment. It has a bed of resin which strips out all the minerals and all the impurities out of the water and softens it. Over time that resin expands. The system will sense when that's due to regenerate itself and it will dose itself with acid, and then it will shrink that resin back to its natural state and then stand by for the next time it's put into service. The next part of the water treatment process is probably what most people are familiar with, is the reverse osmosis. This is a 3-stage system. We have the first stage at the bottom here, the bottom 2 rows. The reject from that will then push into stage 2, and the reject from that at higher pressure into stage 3. They're a spiral wound membrane, and basically the water's pushed right through them, takes all the impurities out, and the actual good water is spat out through the other end in the middle of the tube. Once the water has come through here, it exits the plant, and we pump it about 27 kilometres for use by the Condamine power station. This is our process logic control. All of the actual process equipment can be controlled from here. As you saw, we just came from the reverse osmosis units, so we can just go into here, look at the RO, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. It gives us all of our flows, all of our water parameters, and we can make adjustments from here to get the plant to do what we need it to do. These are our permeate pumps. This is the pump that takes the water out of the plant. As you can see, they're not very big, but they can basically produce 4.1 megalitres a day out of the plant. From our microfiltration unit, it feeds into this tank, which is then the tank that feeds our weak acid cation system further on. During this process, the water is analysed at various points, and the plant is set up to read certain parameters. For example, our pH levels. If the plant senses that it's out of that specification, it will put it into this neutralisation tank. It will neutralise it and then put it back into our sump or back into our feed water. Our power station is a gas-fired power station. I don't know a lot about it because those guys are the experts. But since the RO plant has come online, their water quality that they use for their cooling towers has increased immensely, which has been a big benefit to them, and it gives us a beneficial use of the water that we're treating. That's the end of our process. Thank you for visiting the Windibri Water Treatment Plant.